What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. There's levels to this. All right, check this out. So, I got a comment in one of my videos. I think it was my last video. This dude named Spade Quan. Shout out to you, dog. Look, I always tell you, leave me your comments. I like going through the comments. That's pretty much what makes me come up with different topics on how to make these videos, and then the ridiculousness that is Twitter as well, because I don't know why, but most of my Twitter is all Sony fans, so I see a lot of crazy stuff on there. Anyways, regardless though, Spadequan says this Spadequan, I think that's actually his name, right? He pretty much started his comment with I don't remember playing old games on the PS4 and it sold like crazy amount of copies, right? So his comment got me thinking. Because when you're right, you're right. Okay. I started thinking about every single console that I have had and whether or not backwards compatibility was a big thing for me for those consoles. And I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. It was not. When I had my Super Nintendo, I didn't want to play Nintendo games on my Super Nintendo. When I had my Nintendo 64, I didn't want to play Super Nintendo games on my Nintendo 64. When I had my GameCube, I didn't want to play N64 games. When I had my Wii, I didn't want to play GameCube games. Even though you could by that point. When I had I think the only game, I'll take that back. The only game that I actually played backwards compatibility, I think was Metroid, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But then when I got my Wii U, I wasn't trying to play Wii games. When I got my PS3, I wasn't trying to play PS2 games or PS1 games. When I got my PS4, I wasn't trying to play PS3 games. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest with you. This is when backwards compatibility became a thing for me when I got my first PC. Just being transparent with you. So I never purchased a console to play older games. Meaning that if I missed a game from that generation, I missed it. So you gotta understand what that means, right? So an example is a game like Twisted Metal, right? Supposedly it's a great game for the PlayStation, right? It's like a car battle royale game or something. I don't know what it is, but it's supposed it's a great game, Twisted Metal, right? I never got to play it, or I've played it, but I never like had it. Like I never actually like got to play like really sit down and play the game because once the generation was gone, like I never went back to it, and I could never go back to it. I guess I could, but I wasn't buying that old system or whatever. So we're in a unique situation right now where what Microsoft is doing is good, but I can see where it can be dangerous. I can. So you guys are making sense, okay? For someone like me that didn't get to play a lot of next gen games, this seems awesome, right? But to any logical gamer that's been gaming religiously for the past few years, they're thinking, why would Doc spend $500 to play old games when he could have just got an Xbox One S? He had an Xbox One S. He could have done it that way. But like I said, I didn't care about backwards compatibility until I got a PC because uh, the first PC that I had a 1050 Ti. And I was talking to my boy ISO about this. When I played Far Cry 3 on that 1050 Ti and I saw what that PS3 game looked like on a PC and how it ran, it felt like a next gen game. So even though I played Far Cry 3 on the PS3 just for a little bit, and it was all right, it was good. When I got to experience it on a PC, it was like playing a brand new game because it just looked better and it ran better. And from there, I got hooked on playing on PC. So I went ahead and I started playing all the Assassin's Creed on PC to the point where I had the Ezio collection on the PS3 And I decided to go ahead and just, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and just get Assassin's Creed 2 on the PC just to compare it. And it was the worst mistake ever because I couldn't go back to play it on my PS3. I had to play it on the PC, right? So the PC is what got me into backwards compatibility because I understood that with the right power, a old game could be made new, could feel refreshed, could be made an experience that I hadn't experienced before, right? Playing the game at the best possible fidelity. Now, where I can admit I messed up is that I believed, and again, this is all my fault, nobody else's fault but my own, that the Xbox Series X was going to act exactly like a PC when it came to backwards compatibility games, meaning every single game that you played on it that was backwards compatible was going to go ahead and be upscaled and just run better. That's not the way it works, though. As you see, Microsoft can do it, and the developers can do it, but it depends on when and if they want to do it. So unless it works with all games, I'll give you an example. I downloaded Crisis 2 on my Xbox Series X. Went ahead, put it on, played it, and I've played Crisis 2 on my PC. It looked like trash because I know what that game looks like on PC. Crisis 2 on PC, if you think Crisis 1 looks nice, Crisis 2 on PC is beautiful. It's amazing. It's a great looking game. But on the Xbox Series X, it looks like a 360 game with just a little bit better color and maybe a little bit sharper. I don't know what that game looked like on console, but it's nothing compared to playing it on PC. So that's where I messed up. But boosting frames on a game and boosting resolution on a game, like when I played the Gears, right? Microsoft is right with that. They did do right with that with the Gears of War, Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3, Judgment Day, 4 and 5, obviously. All look amazing. Those games look amazing. So they can do it, and that makes it, that to me, that makes it worth it, because if I'm playing something like The Witcher 3 and I could play it at high settings or ultra settings equivalent on my Xbox Series X, then that makes it worth it. Now if I'm not playing at that, then yeah, you're right, and it kind of doesn't make it worth it, because I could have just gotten The Witcher 3 on PC, waited for a discount or something. Games on PC are typically cheaper anyways, and would have been able to play it at higher graphics and all that other stuff. So the backwards compatibility thing, again, I didn't care about until I started playing games on PC. But for anyone that's a console gamer, nah, you're absolutely right. This can be very dangerous. So us Xbox fans, we gotta acknowledge that, hey, Microsoft, cool. We appreciate everything you're doing with backwards compatibility, but that $500 machine better come with games. Eventually, you need to start dropping games that are using the power that's in that machine. I, I, at some point, listen to me, at some point, games cannot be running equivalent as they run on the PS5. Especially with all the bragging and boasting that we're doing. Oh my God, Microsoft, we're talking Xbox, we're talking so much trash, and it just makes me cringe. I'm just like, oh my God. Sony fans, y'all gotta watch out too, because y'all getting real slick with the mouth. And if it comes to fruition that the Xbox Series X actually starts performing better, you're gonna be eating your words. And Twitter's crazy. People be saving screenshots of what you said 2 years ago. I'm telling you, it's tough. It's a rough world out there on that Twitter land. But it is what it is. Backwards compatibility. You should not buy a next gen console just for backwards compatibility. You shouldn't. I did, but that's because that's what I wanted to do. And like I said, I was a little bit misled with what I thought the Xbox Series X was going to do with every single game. It's not that it can't, because clearly it can, right? They're doing it. They're boosting FPS. So it's not that it can't do it. It's that it's not automatic like it is on PC. Any game I run on PC, I can go ahead and up the frame rates if I want by dropping whatever graphic settings I want. I don't got to ask a developer for permission to do that. None of that stuff. All right. This is how crazy it is. Let's say they release GTA 5 again on the next gen console. What are they going to do? Release it at 4K 60? Okay, that's dope. 4K 60 with GTA will probably look really nice, right? But there's people right now that can play GTA at 1440p above 60 frames. I could play GTA at 1080p higher than 60 frames, like 120, 115 on my 1660 Ti if I tweak some graphics here and there. So, I mean, why would I rebuy GTA 5? You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know. So I understand what he was saying. You don't buy a next gen console to play old games. This is a little bit different because of what Microsoft is showing that they're doing, but it can get very dangerous. Us Microsoft fans, us Xbots, we need to hold Microsoft to the fire and let them know, like, yo, this backwards compatibility stuff is cool, but we need games now. Okay, we need games. Dog 1985, yo, there's levels to this, and this could get very interesting real quick if games will start dropping. They got like 50,000 studios that they keep buying, so the games have to come, right? We out. Peace.